Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the Recreate You Challenge, where I will be giving away up to $3,000 in prizes. And you get to win, you get to participate simply by showing up and commenting. So, as you're popping in to the live stream, if you're on Facebook, let me know that you're here. Same thing as on Instagram, let me know you're here as well. My name is Cami. I'm an intuitive life coach, and I've created this challenge to really set you up with the 3 things that I believe is going to help you create the most success in your life. Day 1, I'd like you to go back and look at day 1 when you have a chance. Oh, hey, Kaylee, just saw you. Hey, Kat. I'd like you to go back and look at day 1 when you're done with this, because day 1 was all about creating your vision. And I just got done hosting a vision board workshop with some amazing women. They got really clear on their vision. All right, now we're on day 2, which is how to reset your beliefs, right? If you have this great vision for your life, but your underlying belief is that it's not possible for you, or you're unworthy, you're not good enough, then all of your actions that you take are going to be underlying with this energy of not being good enough, not feeling good enough. Okay, so that's what we're going to address today. But as you guys are hopping on, I want to, if this is your first day in the challenge, I want to just briefly do some housekeeping and go over the rules. If you would like to have a chance to win the grand prize and to win the daily prizes, here's what you do. So number 1, you must make sure that you're registered for this challenge. So if you're watching live, cool. When you're done, make sure you go and register by clicking the link in my bio or going to camikennedy.com/links and register for the Recreate You Challenge. Step 2 is to participate daily, just like you're doing now. So you're either watching live, or if you're one of the people who's watching the replay, no worries. Simply comment #replay so that I know you're watching. Then your homework on each and every day, right? Because really, I'm here to guide you. I'm here to give you some things that are going to support you and help your life. But I believe that we learn when we implement it. We learn when we teach, when we embody it, when we review that information. So your number 3, your homework is to post a daily takeaway using the #RecreateYouChallenge and #day 2, and then tagging me at Cami Kennedy. Okay, so it's just a takeaway on what you're learning, on what you're implementing, so that others can see and be inspired. Because the reason I'm a coach, the reason why I'm so passionate about personal development and changing your own story, changing yourself from the inside, is because that's how we completely change the entire world, is first by changing ourselves. And then lastly, if you have a private profile, make sure you just change it to public for the next few days so that if you tag me, I can see it. Okay? And also, I see Julie just hopped on StreamYard. Awesome. Or on Facebook. Thank you. I see Lucy just hopped on too. So welcome. All right. So let's dive into this. This is what I have for you today. The first piece of beliefs is just being aware that we have the beliefs. Okay, just being aware that we actually have the limiting beliefs, the stories, and the programming. Now, here's what's really sneaky about beliefs. A lot of times, it's kind of obvious if we have a belief that says you're worthless. You're right, like that's obvious that belief is not helpful and it's not going to help you to get anywhere towards your vision, towards your dreams, towards your goals. What's interesting is, though, we have a lot of beliefs or programs that we don't even understand are blocking us, that aren't serving us, and that aren't true. So during today, I'm going to give you several tools to help to identify the beliefs and to help to reset the beliefs so you can move forward in that aligned action. All right, somebody on Facebook just says, good afternoon. Hello. Facebook user, I'm not exactly sure who you are because I'm joining from StreamYard. So click the link on StreamYard that says allow so that I can see your name if you want to be recognized for commenting, because I don't know who you are. It just says Facebook user. Okay, cool. So let's dive into this. Here's the 3 levels of belief that I think is a really good place to start with. And I actually first learned this from my coach, Stacy Bowman. 3 levels of belief are impossibility. So there's no way that could happen. The next level of belief is possibility. Like, oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, that could happen. Maybe it's a dream. Maybe it's just something cool to think about. And then the third one is inevitability, the complete belief and knowing that what you desire is coming to you. Okay. So those are the three stages of the belief. Here's what most people are living in. Most people are living in impossibility. And I want to give you an example. Okay, cool. It's Jody. Hi, Jody. Thank you. So I want to give you an example. I don't know about you. I don't know how you grew up, what your middle school was like, but when I was in middle school, we had these fundraisers. And these fundraisers was like you would sell candy or you would sell like little trinkets, and you would have this magazine and you'd go around and sell to your friends and family, and you could win different levels of things. So like level 1 would be like a squirt gun, like level 2 would be like, oh, a boom box, and like level 3 is like a brand new bike. Okay? So here's what's so interesting. I can remember like sitting in the seat in the auditorium when they're presenting, we're going to do this fundraising and here's what you could win. And I remember sitting there going, oh yeah, I could do that totally. But also there was another voice in my head that was like, but you're not really going to do that, are you? Like, who actually wins that stuff? Okay. So these are the voices that were going on in my head from a young age. And remember, a lot of these voices come from the adults or the authority figures in our life at that time. Because whether you know it or not, we are a walking subconscious mind from the age of birth till the age of 7. So anything that's been said to you from those age frames have now become your belief system. So that may mean you need to work hard to make money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Everything like no risk, no reward, no pain, no gain, right? And a lot of this programming is things must be hard and we must suffer in order to get what it is that we desire. Okay? And I want you to just maybe put a hand up or like say me or yep, I've heard those things in my life, because this is like a programming of the consciousness. This is a lot of people across, no matter where you're from, have been programmed with these types of thoughts and beliefs. And we could get into the reasons why, right? Like sometimes it's just because their parents passed it down to them and that feels right. And then some people had actually gone through the Great Depression, at least here in the US. So there was some psychological programming that went along with you need to hoard everything and hold on to everything because there may not be enough. So it's not to say that the thoughts are wrong or that the beliefs are wrong. It's more so to get aware and curious enough to say and to ask, is this belief serving me now, in this moment, today, with the current state of affairs, with my current life, with what it is that I'm wanting to create? Okay. We can just get there. Then we can start to get curious on how to shift it and change it. Okay. Yeah. Jody says, yes, I heard it all the time. Yeah. And that's the thing. Listen, I grew up in a home where I definitely was physically and verbally abused in a purposeful way. But I would say for those of us who have come from loving families, from loving homes, a parent that's truly loving, they're not actually trying to harm you by telling you these things. This is just what they really think is going to help you to win in the world and be successful in the world, right? And that's where, I have a client, we were talking about, he's a creator, and we were talking about really like taking his business to the next level and scaling up and doubling his income. And what was coming up for him was starving artist, right? Starving artist. You can't be a creator and have money. That's what's told to us. It's told that we need to get the safe job. But I want you to think about, I'm going to use this little acronym for you guys today. I'm going to walk you through. If you're taking notes, I know I have a lot of note takers on here. If you want to grab a notebook, you can, because I'm going to give you some journaling prompts on here too. But I want you to write down the acronym ASK, A-S-K. Let me see if I'm in frame. There we go. Got to be in frame on Instagram too. This is a lot, you guys. I'm going on Instagram and on Facebook. So apologies for Instagram angle, although you get to see all my plants. You're welcome. Okay, so ASK. This is the first level, awareness. Okay. So you can do what's called a thought download, or you can actually start to look into your current thoughts. So what you can ask yourself is, what am I even believing? And this is I do have a tool that I use inside of my framework. The stuff that I'm teaching today, you guys, I go in so much more in depth on a coaching level inside my Create, Believe, Conquer Full Immersion framework that is starting this week. So if you're wanting full on coaching and you're wanting to get more of this and take it to the next level, reach out to me to come into that framework. But I teach something in there that's called belief mapping. And belief mapping is simply going through your emotions and then going through all of your thoughts and actually identifying what it is that you believe. But another way that you can do this, it's a quick and dirty way, is to do a mindfulness meditation. And a mindfulness meditation, you can find a recording, you can go on YouTube, you can go on Insight Timer, you can find a meditation that just guides you to sit and become aware of what it is that you're thinking. So here's what's really cool. Mindfulness meditation, the purpose of it is not to stop thinking. It's not to stop your thoughts. It's not to think positively. It's simply to become aware of your current thoughts. So what might happen is, let's say you sit down for a meditation to become aware of your thoughts. Your brain is going to go, oh, this is dumb. This isn't working. You don't even know how to meditate. Oh, no, you don't want to do that. That's too hard for you. Here's what's so interesting. That thought process that your brain has about meditation also shows up in other areas of your life. So you probably have a program that's playing that you're not even aware of, that you're dumb, you're lazy, you can't sit still, you have ADHD, like you're not focused, you can't do anything right. Like that thought program is underlying everything. And it may be different for you, but when you sit down for a meditation, I want you to just notice what comes up. You are there to experience the resistance. Most people, when they start a meditation process, they're like, oh, it's too hard for me. I can't do it. Or I just can't sit down. My brain is racing. Yeah, that's what you're there for. That's the point. That's why you're doing it. You're doing it to experience your brain. You're doing it to experience the resistance of, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, my back hurts, I don't want to. And you're there to develop the discipline of getting inside and cultivating this awareness so that then you can move on to the next step in the process. Okay? All right, if this is good for you guys, make sure you put in some hearts if you're on Insta, give me some comments or some likes on Facebook too. I want to make sure you guys are still with me. All right, so asking, what am I even believing? You can do that through meditation. You can do that through journaling. Okay, you can even do that through, what did mom, dad, teacher say to me, right? Or parent. What did you often hear them saying, right? And then that way you get an idea of what your story's been growing up. Let's see if you guys can see this. It's backwards on Instagram anyway. The next one is state. Okay, Tony Robbins teaches a lot about state. And I do like a lot of Tony Robbins stuff. I've listened to him before I became a life coach, and when I was doing health coaching, I listened to Tony Robbins every single morning for like 3 years. So it's highly valuable to find somebody that you resonate with, that you can learn from, that you can then implement these things into your life. But he talks about state a lot. And state is your body, your emotions, how you're feeling, what your physiology is, right? So if I was depressed or if I was feeling sad, what would my body do? Start to think about that. What would your body do when you're sad? Well, I might curl up, I might lay down, I might hunch forward, and now I'm sad, right? Because that's what my body's doing. That's my physiology. That's my state that I'm in. If I want to feel confident, or if I was confident, I would sit up straight. I'd have my shoulders back. I would look into the camera. But you can cultivate confidence through the way you carry your body before you feel confident. You can cultivate excitement in your body by jumping up and down before you actually feel excited about anything. So state is physiology and emotions. And this, my friends, we have control over. They may be shocking to you. It was shocking to me when I started to take personal responsibility for the way I showed up every day. Because of my childhood, because I came from a home where it was better to be tough and to protect myself, that's how I showed up in the world for years and years and years until it was no longer serving me, until it was causing problems relationally and in the workplace. So then I was thinking that it was my fault, right? I was thinking that this is just who I am. I can't change it. I'm just an angry person. I'm just a reactive person. I'm just judgmental. I just not don't get along with people. But what I started to realize is through the process of awareness, through practicing meditation, through mindfulness, through a lot of these things that I'm teaching you over the next 3 days, is we can choose our state, and we can choose by doing with our body, by doing things with our body. Now, the reason why this is important is because you're not going to feel like changing your state. You're not going to feel like changing your emotions unless you have a compelling vision, which is what we created yesterday. So if you're just on here going, yeah, why? Why would I want to change my state? Well, I mean, why would I want to do that? It's because you have a compelling vision of the future of something you desire. And the thing that you desire requires you to be different to have it. Let me say that again. The thing that you desire requires you to be different in order for you to have it. Because if you could have it in your current state, you already have it, right? We must change. Yes. Kaylee's saying my husband's loving this. He keeps nodding and agreeing. Yes. Awesome. Jody is saying that's how many people feel and are taught to feel we can't change it. Yeah, because guess what the programming is? Change is hard. That's the programming. Change is hard. So let me just give up. And I want you to think about where some of these things came from. And you can get really philosophical if you want. You can get really into, what is the word? Sociology, anthropology. But if somebody wants to control a population, if somebody wants to control a people, if somebody wants to keep people in slavery consciousness, they're going to tell them, change is hard. You can't change. You might as well give up and submit, right? Think about back in, I watch a lot of like Viking shows and things like that, but whoever was the most powerful was the one who won, right? And the people were able to stay safe if they just gave in and didn't fight back and didn't, they just accepted, okay, well, yep, just take my land, just take my money. So that's where this stuff comes from. It comes from the psychology of being human. And we have a choice each and every day. Yeah, Jody says, I still have people in my life who continue to say those things. Yes. So this is when it gets important, you guys. When you're starting to do this work, if you're not already in my Facebook group, join that, because this is where we do this work. It is a safe place where we practice our potential, where we practice being the person that we're becoming without the influences of people saying, well, you're not like that. You haven't changed. No, you're always going to be this way, right? Because who we're around, who we surround ourselves with is going to influence us. So if you don't have that at home right now, or if you have people in your life or family, you can start to set some boundaries there, but you can also seek to connect with people who are going to uplift you and grow you. Okay, so let's talk about changing state. I talked about a few things. Body position, right? Body position. Opening up the chest. They've shown that, like studies show that doing this, putting your hands on your hip, Wonder Woman position, increases the levels of testosterone. Yes, even in females, but that hormone makes you feel confident, makes you feel strong, makes you feel secure, makes you feel like you could take on everything. Another thing, a study they did was putting a pencil or pen like that between your teeth, and it shapes your mouth into a smile. And after doing that for several weeks, for several minutes at a time, people who were clinically depressed actually reported less depression, because physiologically, your brain, even when you're in a fake smile like I am right now, makes you feel like as if you're actually happy. So you can fake a smile, right? Fake it till you make it. That may be it. So body position, smiling. And what about all those things that we know are good for us? Working out, right? Movement. Here's one of the best things you can do to change your state is to go on a walk. And there is a guy here on Instagram, if you want to check him out. It's Huberman Lab. Dr. Huberman, he studies the eyes, and he studies the neurology of the eyes. And essentially what happens is when we're always focused on a screen like this, we're kind of hyper vigilant. We're in that fight or fight. We're very activated. Then when we go on a walk and our eyes relax and they focus on the horizon, it automatically puts us in a state of relaxation. So that's one of the quickest ways to reduce stress, to get into movement, to move the emotions through your body. And even if you're in a cold place, I did another thing called shaking, and I'm going to post it on Instagram. I did another thing called shaking where I put on a song for 3 minutes. It was Taylor Swift, Shake It Off. I was feeling emotions, and I wanted to get the emotions through my body. And so I just shook it off, and I danced, and I shook, and jumped. And that allowed the emotion to move through my body, and I was able to process it, forgive, everything's okay. And then I was able to go on throughout my day. Whereas in the past, without these tools, I would have harbored on it. I would have created a story about it. I would have said why they were wrong and I was right. I would have created more separation. I would have come not from a place of love. So I'm telling you this to say I was the worst. I was the worst. Like if you actually would talk to people from my life 10 years ago, they would be like, no, I don't ever want to talk to her again. I hate her. Honestly. Like honestly. So when I teach you these things, I teach it from a place of I thought my life was outside of my control. I thought my emotions, my responses were outside of my control. And I thought everybody else was wrong. They were doing life wrong. They were triggering me. They should be a different way. And since I've done this work over the past 10 years, not only am I now coaching you all on doing this, but I'm living in it and I'm showing you that it is possible. Okay. So if you're feeling resistance towards this, good. All that resistance is your ego trying to hold on to its power, trying to say, no, I need to be right all the time. Whereas one of the first things we can do is say, I am willing to be wrong. I am willing to be wrong and I'm willing to be seen as wrong. That is one of the most powerful things you can do is to move into that state of acceptance. All right. And then the last letter is kinetic. Okay. And I just like it. So kinetic is like motion, putting things in motion. This is also just known as action. Okay. So once you have awareness of what your limiting beliefs are, then you change your state, right? You start to move through and you can release them. So let's say you have a state that says, money is hard to make. Now you might reframe this with another belief of like, money is easy. Money flows to me easily. This is one of mine. Then you might change your state as you're saying it, the affirmation, or as you're journaling. You might change your state while you're writing it, speaking it, getting in this body position that feels good, smiling about it, finding evidence, right? Finding evidence of other people that have said, oh, cool, money's easy for them, so it could be easy for me too. And then this kinetic is motion, action, taking aligned action. So what I'm saying is, let's say you're down in the dumps, you're believing all these things. If you're wanting to get yourself to a place of action, you've got to change your state. And then when you're in that energetic state, so guys, literally everybody on here was saying, yes, this is good. I love it. I'm feeling high vibe. Yes, this is helpful. You want to take action after this call directly. Whatever it is that you're deciding that you want to believe in, that you want to do, that you want to create in the world, this is the energy to take aligned action from, getting into motion. Tony Robbins says, never leave the sight of setting a goal without doing something towards its attainment. So that means when you're in the state of belief, when you've changed your physiology, when you're like, yes, I'm believing that money is easy, I can do this, take an action from there in that moment. Because this is where people get caught up. And I'm going to go into more of this as well. But this is where people get stuck. They will be doing this thought work. And this happens oftentimes when let's say I've been coaching one-on-one with a client for 4 to 6 weeks. What'll happen in that initial 4 to 6 weeks is they'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize like how I was wrong. And I was thinking wrong about all these things. And again, I don't use the language of wrong. This is the language that they're using. But they'll be like, I can't believe I was so wrong for so long. But then once they become aware of the wrongness, they freak out because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so wrong now. How do I change it? And we get into this area of deception. And then their negative belief starts to come back up. And they're like, well, maybe I am wrong. And then that starts to bubble back up to the surface. And they have the potential to get stuck. But luckily with coaching, they're never going to get stuck when they're coaching with me because I tell them this is going to happen. So I'm telling you right now where this is going to happen for you. You're going to start doing the work. You're going to become aware. You're going to start meditating. You're going to start changing your state. You're going to start journaling. And then your brain, your ego self is going to go, you're not good enough. You're dumb. You're not doing this right. You're stupid. And it's going to come back up to the surface. And you're going to go, wait a minute, I've been doing so much work on this. Why is this still coming up? And here's the answer. Joyce Meyer, who started listening to like a long time ago. She's a Christian speaker. She always says, new level, new devil. Your ego is always there. It's always there. It's always going to be talking at you. But you don't have to identify with the ego. You can identify with your vision, your values, your beliefs that you're cultivating, and what it is that you want to impact in the world, which is coming from your soul, your inner self, your spirit, your higher self, whatever word, your intuition. That's the part of you who knows, who's just like, everything's cool. I'm taken care of. I trust and believe. I just want to love and be connected to people. I know what's important. My family's important. That's whenever everything is so simple, when you're not inundated with those feelings of fear that are coming from your ego. But here's the thing. We don't get to escape our ego. You might actually, through periods of meditation, escape your ego, right? You will. But then you come back into the real world where your ego lives, and you're going to come right back up against it. So the reason I'm saying this is because if you can just go, oh, interesting. My ego is here to serve me. It's here to keep me safe. It's here to tell me things that are scary. It's here to tell me, don't talk to this person, don't go here, don't do that because I might die. It actually has kept us alive for so many years evolutionarily that's why it's here. So we don't need to hate on it. We don't need to reject it. We don't need to fight with it. We can simply check back in with our vision that we talked about yesterday, our beliefs that we're choosing to believe today and every day, because a belief is simply a thought that you keep thinking over and over again. So those of us who are in our 30s, 40s, 50s, if we've been thinking that thought for 50 years, and then you're like, oh, I watched a video, let me start this belief work, it's not going to change overnight. Just like if you put on 30 pounds over the past 3 years, you're not going to just drop it right away. It might take some time. So you have to be committed to the vision and loving yourself through the process to go, this is worth it. I am worth it to continue to do this work. And it is okay that I have these thoughts that aren't serving me. Everyone does. It doesn't make me a bad person. This is just what it means to be human. And those of us who are here, who are watching this now or watching the replay, we are in the top 1% of the world. What does that mean? It means if you have a cell phone, you have a computer, and you're focused on personal development, that means there's a Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, at the bottom is like food and shelter, your basics. We have food and shelter. We have the basic necessities, which already means we're very abundant. And we have the opportunity, we get to be at the very top of the pyramid, which is the 1% of all of humanity that has the opportunity to work on personal development. So when it gets hard, remember, there's a reason you're called to do this. And what I believe it is as we work and develop ourselves, we can then work and develop and help others so that they can come up and rise up through the hierarchy of needs as well, so that we can donate, so that we can provide food, water, education, all of the basic necessities for those who don't have. So when I start to get frustrated by the things that I see in myself that still need to change, and it feels like work and it feels hard, and these things are happening in my life, I still see it as an opportunity that I get to do in this lifetime. And by me doing that, and by each of you doing this with yourselves and your families, that ripple effect is going to occur all across humanity. So when I look at any of this work, I don't see it as selfish at all. I see it as a necessity. If everyone was doing this work, we would all become more loving, more kind, more generous, more connected, more giving. That's how I see the things we're doing here. Okay, let me read the comments real quick. Jody says, I have lots of triggers. Yeah, I get it. We all do. Aligned action is everything for goals. Not sure where to start with aligned actions. Yeah, this is good. Getting stuck happens so much. Yeah, getting stuck in fear always. So let's take the opportunity right now for those of you who are saying, I'm stuck in fear. We're going to change that. Right now, here today, in this moment, we're going to transmute that statement into something that's more powerful for you moving forward in belief for what it is that you desire. What you can say is, in the past, I used to get stuck in fear. Now I'm committed to moving forward in faith. Or if that's too powerful to you, if that's too much of a jump to make, you can say, I'm open to aligned action. I'm open to taking one step. I'm open to taking the next step, right? Sometimes we're looking at aligned action, we're like, I don't even know what to do. It's so big, or it's such a big problem. One thing. That one thing may be, you know what? I'm going away for a weekend by myself, or I'm going to take a bubble bath, or I'm going to let so and so in my house know I'm going into the room to meditate now, and this is what I do now. So it's not always a massive action. It's not always something huge. It is in this moment. If I was believing money is possible, relationship is possible, health is possible, if I was believing from a place of possibility, what action would I take? What action would I take? Very simple. Okay, so I'm going to shift gears a little bit here. Let me know what's coming up for you guys. If you know what your aligned action baby step is today, or maybe it's a massive action, maybe it's getting the website up and running, maybe it's making that investment that you've been saying you were going to make. If there's a big action, type it in the chat. Or maybe you're just committing to taking a baby action, a small action, one step, type it in the chat. All right. So just so you guys know, I am giving away a live prize on this call today. We have about maybe 20 more minutes that I'll be on this call. I'm going to wrap it up soon. So I am going to give a live prize on, so make sure you stay here. And if you are here, make sure you're commenting so that I can see you. I'll give away a live prize. And then if you want to be considered for the grand prize, which happens after tomorrow, which is going to be over $3,000 in value for that grand prize, you've got to stick to the rules that I talked about in the beginning, but I'm just going to recap again. So this is what I need from you if you want to be eligible for that grand prize. Number one, make sure you're registered. Go to the link in my bio, click on CamiKennedy.com/links, and make sure you're registered on my email list for the Recreate You Challenge. Number two, participate daily, which you're already doing, or if you're watching the replay, #replay. Number three, you're making a post today on Facebook or on Instagram. You're tagging me, and you're using the hashtag Recreate You Challenge and day 2. And then make sure that your profile is public so that I can see it. Okay, so that's how you can participate and win the prizes today. Let me check these comments, and then I'm going to go into some belief building practices for you to try. Okay, I actually took a baby one, got a new notebook. Yes, let's celebrate that. So here's what's really interesting, you guys. I like to say baby steps, but really, those are big steps, because everything that we take, like I've run a half marathon, it consists of baby steps, right? Like it consists of one foot in front of the other. If we look at the marathon, if we look at the 26 miles or the 13 miles, we get overwhelmed. But the way that we continue to gain traction is by celebrating those baby steps, those tiny habits that we create along the way. So I'm celebrating Holly getting a new notebook. That counts. All right, Julie says, I commit to being open and moving forward in faith. Beautiful. See, how does that feel, right? That just opens you up into possibility instead of being in confusion and impossibility. So good. All right, Jody, I took a step today and told my family I'm taking time for myself. And I'm doing it right now being on here. Yes. So good, Jody. So good. Yes. All right. Okay, I'm seeing some on Instagram coming through. Cleaning my workspace will be my action. Beautiful. So all of these count as aligned actions, you guys. I love this. It's simple. We make it hard. We make it harder than it needs to be. And then we never get to where we want to go because we're making it such a big leap. Okay. All right. So let me give you some things that you can do, that you can find, that you can investigate on the internets that are really going to help you. Number one, and this is to build your belief and to build it into your daily practice, morning routine, evening routine, in the middle of the day, if you're feeling crappy, all of these things can help you at any time of day. Okay. But committing to the process is important, and not beating yourself up if you miss a day, but just noticing, listen, I think this is really important to understand. I am a life coach, mindset coach, intuitive coach. That is my job. That is what I do. And so for some reason, sometimes people put me on a pedestal and they'll say it's easier for you. That's not true. I just prioritize my mindset daily. And I don't want to discourage you in this way, but I do want to let you know, new level, new devil means when you go to your next level, your brain is going to go, nope, it's not safe. We can't be here. So it will require you to show up and do your mindset work. So what it looks like for me, I get up, coffee, go to the bathroom, coffee, water, then I journal. I journal as if the thing that I'm desiring has already happened. Then I get in touch with my values. My values is something that we're creating in my Create, Believe, Conquer framework that I'm starting this week. It's an 8-week coaching program. So if you want to dive into values, hop into that program with me. But I dive into my values. I do a meditation. So sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long. Sometimes it's a visualization of what I desire. Sometimes it's just a chakra balancing or a healing. So I'm meditating every single day. I will write my affirmations out, and then I'll set my intentions and I'll kind of go throughout my day. But guess what? Something may happen. Something may trigger me. What will I do? I'll go back to one of my practices. I'll do a shaking thing. I'll go back and do another meditation. I'll go and do a walk. Then at night, if I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling triggered, I'll do another journaling session. So I'm telling you this to say, for some reason, we think it's like, oh, it's the same thing as showering, right? Like, oh, I took a shower, I'm good now. But like, you took a shower and then you got brownie batter on your hands. So now you got to wash your hands. So it's not like, oh, I'm just clean because I showered this morning. Things are going to energetically, things are going to come towards us. And it's up to us energetically using our mindset and everything we've learned to transition ourselves back into more of a stable, even just courageous state of being. Doesn't mean we need to be happy and like totally living in faith every day, but a courageous, accepting, balanced, grounded state of being. Okay. So I hope that helps you to understand. I spend so much time doing these practices. So I don't want to tell you you have to do it for 3 hours, but I don't want you to judge when you're yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for 2 weeks and like, I feel like it's not working. It is. It's always working. Okay. It's always working. And if you feel like you need to do something else in the middle of the day, do it. That's just part of keeping yourself balanced. Okay. All right. Holly says, I haven't wrote a journal since I was a child. Recently, you've inspired that memory and motion in me in more detail. And I got a new notebook. Amazing, Holly. And if you can, go to my YouTube. I have a journaling practice on there called Journaling for Manifesting. That'll give you some more guidance on journaling as well. All right. So let me go into some belief practices. So number one, you can do an affirmation. You can listen to it like on audio. And I have a few of them on Insight Timer, which is a free meditation app if you want to listen to my affirmations. Or you can just find an affirmation on YouTube, right? It's playing in your ears, or you can create your own. I've done this where I created my own. I wrote it all down and I recorded myself in my voice memo and I recorded it as if everything's already happened. So I'll say something like, I am so abundant and free. I feel healthy in my body. Everything is always happening for me. I am so amazing. Just on and on and on and on. Okay. Number two, a meditation or a visualization, right? Again, Insight Timer, Calm, Headspace, any of these apps, completely free. You can also find my meditations on YouTube. I'm going to talk about meditation for too long. I don't want to do that on this platform, but I'm telling you this, it is the biggest component of what changed my life 5 years ago when I committed to becoming a morning person. I committed, and this is after me like being so mean in the morning. I wouldn't talk to people, like I was mean. I was so triggered. And now I've become a morning person through this practice. So I'm just going to tell you, meditation with a visualization component is super powerful. Number three, journaling. Journaling in the way of the positive, okay? Some people have done something called morning pages, which is just a brain dump of all of your negative thoughts. If that works for you, do it. If that feels good for you, do it. That was not working and feeling good for me. What feels better for me is to affirm and always like just affirm the things that I know that I'm working on believing. Like everything's always happening for me. I'm abundant. Money is easy. I love my relationships. I'm passionate. This is the great. I love it. I get paid for being me. All of these things. So when I'm journaling, I'll do it in a way of my ideal day in the present tense. I'm so excited that I blah, 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 blah. And I'll just recap that whole day and I'll get excited about thinking about that. Number four is incantations. And this came from Tony Robbins. I kind of got into this, but never really for real. But I do want to mention it because I think it could be powerful. For those of you who go on morning walks or morning exercise, he does incantations verbally. And I actually listened to this one repetitive affirmation session that I'll listen to while I'm working out. So it kind of gets it into my body while I'm working out. But incantations is simply like saying something over and over again, like every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. That's something that Tony Robbins says. Or you can say like, I'm healthy, happy, and whole. I'm healthy, happy, and whole, right? Something that kind of has a beat to it, something that kind of gets in the groove, and you can say it out loud when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling unsafe, so that you're reminding yourself, I'm always taken care of, everything's working out for me, everything's working out for me, everything's working out for me, just over and over again. And I've done this a lot of times when I've been triggered, so I wanted to bring that up. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is EFT or tapping. And this is a modality that goes through your meridian, your energy points, and it helps you to work through the negative thought forms by speaking them and tapping through the points, and then programming in the positive thought forms. I have a few videos, and I can also give you some resources of some of these, but I know that you can find them as well. It has been instrumental and powerful in my process, and something that I use for my clients as well. So these are some things, these are kind of some homeworks for you guys to take action on and to start to investigate and implement them into your life so that you can start to build your belief, rebuild that belief for success. Okay, and it's 1:11. Let me read the comments and then I'm going to finish up here. Here's what I'm going to have you do. This is what I'm giving away today. I am giving away my 21-day love and money manifestation plan. It is an email program that's going to come right to your email every single day for the next 21 days. And it's going to give you things to do to manifest more love for yourself, maybe a partner, and bring in all that abundance and money. So if you are wanting to win this prize today and you are live here with me on Facebook or Instagram, I want you to type in the chat, I believe, okay? Type in the chat, I believe, and type it over and over and over again. And I'm randomly going to pick 2 winners. I'll pick one from Instagram and I will pick one from Facebook. All right, type in, I believe. And then as you guys are typing this in, let me read these, okay? I found a journal at home and wrote your questions from the Journaling for Manifestation and Perfectionist booklet. Beautiful. All right, I see. Okay, cool. I'm seeing the comments come in. I'm going to let them keep coming in so that I can get a bunch of comments and then randomly choose. And then let me tell you a little bit more about my Create, Believe, Conquer 8-week full immersion framework, because this is my baby. This is my everything. This is the framework that I've been using to coach people for the last 7 years. And it's the framework that I now certify other life coaches through. And it's the book that I'm writing that will be published this year as well. All of that to say, that doesn't really matter to you. What matters is what you're going to get from the framework. So this is my deep dive coaching containing a small group of women, 10 women or less, and we get on weekly Zoom calls where you get individualized one-on-one coaching. What you're going to get coming away from this 8-week program is full-on clarity for your vision. You are going to be fully aligned and attuned to your values, so you know exactly what decisions to make every day. You are going to have a specific belief tool and pattern that you get to use. You're going to have your own. You're going to develop your own morning and evening routine. You're going to have everything you need to create and take aligned action. So I invite you. This is one of the best offers that I have, and I only offer it a few times a year. This is amazing because you get to be in a group and a wonderful community of supportive women like yourself. And it's kind of the step up to working with me one-on-one. So check that out. I have the link up in my bio. You can also message me as well, but I wanted to let you know about that opportunity. It is starting next week, okay? All right, I see all these comments coming in, so I'm gonna pick random on Facebook. Show it. Okay, I clicked on Julie. Julie, I don't know how to say your last name, Julie. Goudry, you are the winner on Facebook. Send me a message. You're gonna get the 21-day love and money manifestation plan. And of course, Kaylee, you just won another thing today. So you are getting the 21-day love and money manifestation plan. Please send me that message so that I can make sure that you guys get that via email. So I have Julie and I have Kaylee. And you guys are going to do your homework. You're going to tag and post. Make sure that you post if you want to be in the running for the grand prize that I will announce after this weekend. And then meet me here tomorrow, same place, same time, for conquering your plan, which is going to be, a lot of you guys are saying, I don't know what actions to take. Tomorrow is going to be a guided action planning session. So you don't want to miss tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you register. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye.